What's up, everybody? I'm MisterTomScott, and this is Infusion.
Die by steel, peasant!
So as you can see, Kingdoms Rise is a third-person medieval combat game where players customize their brawler and head to battle against one another online. Kingdoms Rise is participating in Steam's Early Access program, so if you like what you're seeing, you can pick the current build of the game up for $14.99. Kingdoms Rise was originally greenlit back in August, and on November 18th became available on Steam. The game was approved through Steam Greenlight in just 57 days. Flightleap Studio is doing a good job ironing out bugs within the game, and is expediently responding to posts in the game's Steam discussion forum. Kingdoms Rise received its first patch on November 23rd, just 5 days after launching on Steam. Since then, there have been 2 more patches, the most recent of which was released on December 13th. From what I've seen so far, gamers apprehensive about a developer simply taking money and vanishing for months at a time doesn't need to worry about that from Flightleap Studios. The first thing players will want to do is customize their warrior. Currently, there are plenty of options for cosmetic customizations within Kingdoms Rise, and even more choices are set to be included, as seen by the grayed out options. Speaking of options, Kingdoms Rise sports a pretty limited options menu. There are times where I had trouble getting a few of the options to actually toggle, but I attribute this to the beta build's limitations entirely, which is nothing at all to be alarmed about. In fact, the latest patch addressed some of these issues specifically. As far as gameplay goes, when players spawn into a game, they're able to choose a sword, a secondary weapon, and 2 spells or abilities. Each sword comes with its own stat modifier. For example, using the tank sword will reduce damage taken, using the fire sword will increase damage dealt, and using the mobility sword will increase the player's movement speed. The secondary weapons available range from bows to bear traps, and none of them require any particular tutorial. For whatever reason though, the throwing axe explodes. Sword combat in Kingdoms Rise is the main attraction. Combat is handled through mouse movements, swing the sword left to right as you click, and the warrior mirrors the movement with his sword. Moving the mouse up and right-clicking to parry an oncoming downward attack will block the blow. It all sounds great in theory, but there's still a bit more mechanical work to do before the feature really feels responsive.
And stay down!
The main strategy that most players seem to take into battle against me was to run at me, teleport around, and wildly try to hack my warrior to death. This popular strategy is further complicated by the inclusion of friendly fire. If you miss the enemy, your sword may go wild and end up harming a nearby teammate. Many players have made the case that friendly fire is too much, but Flightleap Studios has responded that they feel friendly fire is included within the game for a reason, as it adds a level of strategy to otherwise total mayhem. With that said, the latest patch adds in countermeasures against griefers. Kingdoms Rise has a lot of potential. I've been playing it with a group of friends and we've been having a blast. Flightleap Studios has a bunch planned for future patches, things like female knights, stat tracking, and Steam Workshop integration, as well as new skills, maps, spells, and weapons. So gamers who pick up the game now will have plenty to look forward to within the coming weeks and months. Kingdoms Rise is heading in the right direction. With a few more patches, I'm hoping Flightleap Studios will be able to make the sword fighting a more fluid experience, but other than that, Kingdoms Rise is shaping up to be a real fun game. Check out the show notes for all the relevant links. I'm MisterTomScott. Thanks for watching.